It is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on a limb. I'm actually about to take Cathay Pacific from London here to Hong Kong and about to use the lounge. So check out the lounge with me before we actually board the 777-300ER to Hong Kong. Folks, before we start, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Thanks. So Cathay has about 5 flights to Hong Kong daily, so it makes sense to have its own lounge here in Heathrow. And the lounge here has wooden panel walls, which is really beautiful, I would say, creating an inviting atmosphere with a huge dining room. And if you keep walking forward, you see other areas to sit and relax as well. Interestingly, I've seen other YouTubers covering this lounge. It doesn't look as big as when I actually experienced it in person. Yes, it's actually a very spacious lounge. And I especially love these chairs that offers plane spotting opportunities. And if you walk towards this area, which is an area that offers a buffet dining, and here you actually get your standard yogurts and your standard fruits and cereals, as well as Western breakfast. As this was a morning flight, omelets, hash browns and tomatoes, grilled tomatoes and baked beans, Brit's favorite, pork sausages and bacon was offered. But of course, I was more interested in the noodle bar, offering different kinds of noodles. Of course, I went with the wonton noodles, the dan dan noodles, and a basket of dim sum. But I have to say, the noodles were so disappointing. It was actually soft and soggy. It doesn't really live up to the Cathay standard. The soup was actually watery, I know. At this point, I was like, okay, let me try the wonton. They could not screw up the wonton, I think, and they did. Actually, the meat was okay, but the skin was actually falling apart. So yeah, it was rather disappointing. So I was like, what else to eat? Maybe try the dim sum, because dim sum should not be disappointing. And of course, the skin was actually a bit chewy. So yeah, so it was a disappointment as well. But I had to take a second bite just to make sure. So now at this point, I'm like, what could I eat that actually would not be disappointing? And I was like, yeah, I can at least try the vegetable, the bok choy in the soup. And yeah, I mean, they did that right. I mean, they had to, right? So at this point, I was like, Cathay should have invested more in the food. And of course, I tried the dan dan noodles because everybody raved about this. Noodle itself, again, it's actually soft and disappointing, but at least the soup, the dan dan soup, was actually pretty okay. I wouldn't say too spicy with a hint of peanut sauce in it. So at this point, I was like, why not make my own food? So I put the wonton that's falling apart into the dan dan sauce and make my own spicy wontons, and that's quite edible. So next I actually went with the char siu bao, which is the roast pork buns, as well as the congee, the pumpkin congee. The bun itself, I have to say, the filling was okay, but the bun itself was actually kind of hard. It was like a frozen bun from Tesco. So yeah, so it wasn't that great. So left the lounge disappointed. Took about 20 minutes to get to the boarding gate, which was kind of quiet, and we actually boarded. Interestingly, had to get out of the terminal and just walk up to the plane. I was actually seated in the front business class cabin. This is what I call the mini cabin. I really love row 11 and 12. Kind of offers some privacy. And of course, if you look straight ahead, it's actually first class. So you kind of think that you're traveling in first class until they draw the curtain after takeoff. And seat 11A was where I sat, my favorite seat. And upon boarding, you'll find a bedding kit or bedding set provided to every passenger with a pair of slippers. Also another pair of slippers in the side storage cabin in case you lose your first one. A cupboard or a little more storage space with the plugged-in headset, the bottled water, and the amenity kit from Bamford. And here you have a vanity mirror to make sure you look your best before you deplane, or at all times. You have your seat controls. So the amenity kit holds all the travel essentials like toothpaste and toothbrush, eye shades, lots of leg room in this old business class seat. I know it's not the area suite which they are slowly introducing to their fleet, but this is actually a good seat. Plus, you go close to the trash bin that the crew uses to dispose of stuff, so you can actually get rid of your own trash if they don't come around to pick it up. So the seat itself has 2 windows that provides enough lighting. The in-flight entertainment, Cathay's in-flight entertainment choices are great, but I have to say with the older seat, the touchscreen is not as sensitive anymore, so you have to work extra hard to get to the program of your choice. So the in-flight dining menu is pretty good. I mean, it consists of Western and Asian choices, although interestingly they've marked some plant-forward choices, and one of them consists of meat. Really interesting. Mid-flight snacks also consist of Asian and Western choices as well. When it comes to beverages, they have a good selection of wine, Western wine, although the Discovery wine that they have on the menu actually have all the wines made in China. Patriotism or bias? Maybe patriotism. I mean, this is a Chinese airline after all. So let's eat. Cauliflower almond soup. I started off with that. It's really tasty. I was actually a bit worried considering that this was catered out of Heathrow, judging from how bad the food at the lounge was. But actually, it didn't disappoint. The cod was actually a bit dry, but it tasted good. Love this traditional Cantonese soup. This one wasn't on the menu. They just gave it to all passengers, and I really loved it. It consisted of taro and some winter melons and some mushrooms as well, and also barley. So it really hit the spot. And I love how Cathay served the Asian food. I mean, it kind of makes me feel like I'm eating at home with the bowl of rice and the chopsticks. So it makes me feel at home. Flying on Cathay, especially when eating the Asian meal here on Cathay, and the soup definitely made me feel at home. The lemon curd with almond crumble and meringue was the dessert that they provided, and it was actually not disappointing as well. Not too sweet, as Asians would say. So next off, wanted to lay down in the seat with a seat pitch of 81 inches and width of 21 inches. It's actually really comfortable. I mean, I could toss and turn a bit. So this was time to actually sleep for at least a good 5-6 hours. Woke up really hungry, so ordered the fishball and cuddle fishball noodle soup with some Hong Kong milk tea to actually, just kill some time and also eat because I was a bit hungry. And interestingly, I was a bit worried that the quality would be like the lounge wonton noodle, but it wasn't. The rice noodle was actually really silky and soft, and the soup was actually rather tasty as well. And the fishball, I mean, it was bouncy, which is really great. It's called al dente. So after the mid-flight snack, I watched another movie, and before you know it, we were 2 hours into landing at Hong Kong International Airport. This was actually, disappointingly, a shorter flight because I wanted it to be longer so that I could enjoy the business class treatment. The hot towel was given out, and I went with the healthy breakfast of acai bowl with fresh fruits and pastry while watching my, TVB drama, which brings back a lot of childhood memories. That's what I used to do. So the acai bowl, that's banana acai bowl, it's really fresh. Also, the green juice that they serve really hit the spot. I felt really healthy, but I'm not sure with the pastries though. It was good, but it wouldn't be the healthiest thing. So sun's rising over Hong Kong. This was, we'll be landing around 7:30 in the morning, and the sun was definitely coming up.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to our home, Hong Kong. For your safety,
So overall, this was a good flight. The food was actually decent despite the quality at the lounge. The seat was comfortable despite being an old seat. It was really comfortable. The crew-wise, the service was actually, I would say, overall good. I mean, there was one flight attendant that avoided eye contact throughout. The other one was, tried her best, but not as polished. The purser was really good though. She was really attentive. I greeted her in Cantonese as I boarded, and she conversed with me in Cantonese throughout. So I'm glad to see that Cathay is actually making a comeback, but it is still not at the Singapore Airlines world-class level. Yes, my bias is always with Singapore Airlines. Just don't kill me, all right? They're still better. Guys, I've arrived in Hong Kong. It's a great flight. Yeah, it's improving. Let's keep it better.